Imagine this. Two people experience heartbreak on the exact same day. One gets dumped after a 3-year relationship. The other watches their national team lose the World Cup final in the 89th minute. Now here's the strange part. A week later, the person who went through the breakup might already be moving on, but the football fan is still replaying that missed shot, avoiding social media, refusing to wear the team jersey, and feeling a pain that seems almost irrational. Why? How can losing a game you didn't even play hurt more than losing someone you loved? The answer has almost nothing to do with football. It has everything to do with your brain. Because when the World Cup begins, something unusual happens. Millions of strangers stop thinking as individuals and start thinking as one tribe. Their identities quietly merge through the same colors, the same anthem, and the same dream. Psychologists call this social identity. Your brain starts treating the team's success as your own success, and their failure feels personal. That's why fans instinctively say, "We lost," instead of, "They lost." Think about that. You weren't on the field, you never touched the ball, but your mind doesn't care. Emotionally, you were part of the team. Now compare that with a breakup. A breakup usually hurts because you lose one important relationship. A World Cup defeat can feel like losing a shared identity, a national celebration, and years of hope all at once. And that emotional stack creates something incredibly powerful. The World Cup only comes every 4 years, 4 years of waiting, 4 years of imagining, 4 years of telling yourself, maybe this is our time. During that period, fans create mental stories about the future. They picture celebrations in the streets, victory posts online, and unforgettable memories with friends and family. In psychology, this is called emotional investment. The more energy you pour into an imagined future, the more painful it becomes when reality destroys it. But there's another hidden force that makes the pain even stronger. Expectation. Researchers have found that disappointment isn't measured only by what happens. It's measured by the gap between what happened and what you expected to happen. If your underdog team loses early, you shrug and move on. But if your favorite team dominates the tournament and then collapses in the final minutes, it feels devastating. Your brain doesn't just process the loss, it mourns the future it had already imagined. And then comes something even stranger. Mirror neurons. These specialized brain systems help humans emotionally simulate other people's experiences. When you watch your favorite player collapse to the ground in tears, your brain partially mirrors those emotions. You don't just witness heartbreak, you borrow it. That's why millions of people who have never met each other can cry together in living rooms, bars, airports, and city squares around the world. For a few hours, they share one emotional nervous system. But perhaps the biggest reason World Cup losses hurt so much is because they threaten our sense of belonging. Humans evolved in tribes. Being accepted by your group once meant survival. Even today, your brain rewards belonging with feelings of safety and meaning. Sports create one of the strongest modern versions of tribal connection. The chants, the jerseys, the rituals, the lucky seats, the pre-game traditions. These aren't just habits, they become psychological symbols of membership. When the tribe loses, it can feel like your own emotional foundation starts to shake. And here's where things get fascinating. Scientists studying fan behavior have noticed something called burgeoning and corfing. When teams win, people tend to bask in reflected glory. They proudly wear jerseys and say, "We're champions." But after painful losses, many cut off reflected failure. Suddenly it becomes, "They played terribly." The language changes because the brain tries to protect self-esteem. Yet during the World Cup, that defense often fails. The emotional attachment is simply too deep. This is why some fans avoid television for days. Some delete social media apps. Some can't even watch highlights. They're not being dramatic. They're experiencing genuine emotional distress tied to identity and expectation. Ironically, this pain also reveals something beautiful. It proves that humans are capable of caring deeply about people they've never met and outcomes they can't control. Shared hope creates shared emotion, and shared emotion creates community. Think about the streets after a World Cup victory. Complete strangers hug each other, people dance together, cars honk for hours, flags wave from windows. For one night, millions forget politics, jobs, money, and personal problems. That same emotional engine runs in reverse after defeat. Silence replaces celebration, faces drop, cities feel quieter, the dream disappears all at once. So does that mean losing the World Cup really hurts more than a breakup? Not always. Every heartbreak is different. But psychologically, a World Cup loss combines identity, tribe, anticipation, scarcity, collective emotion, and shattered expectation into one unforgettable experience. Very few events activate so many emotional systems simultaneously. And that's why people who have survived divorces, career failures, and personal setbacks still remember exactly where they were when their team lost the biggest match of all. Years later, they can recall the missed penalty, the final whistle, the stunned silence, and the tears. Memory isn't controlled by logic. It's controlled by emotion. So the next time someone says, "It's just a game," remember this. To the brain, it never was. It was belonging. It was identity. It was hope. And sometimes, losing hope for 90 minutes can leave a scar that lasts for years. If this made you rethink why sports feel so personal, then you've just uncovered one of the most fascinating tricks the human mind ever plays on us.